And we're live. What's up, people? Welcome to Wednesday, which would normally be a Wednesday D&D session. This is kind of a D&D session, I guess. We're doing session 0 for our Wildmount mini adventure. We don't actually have a name for this adventure because our DM hasn't provided one for me yet.
There was a reason. I can give it to you guys now.
I'll turn it over to our guest DM, Mr. RoastnChicken, to give us the rundown and details of this particular adventure. And then obviously once we get a name for it, we can start advertising a name for it. And then I'll get you to shoot me an image, and I'll create a title screen as well.
Fantastic. Okay. Welcome. Yes, it is I, Cam. Okay. All right. This is a good start. So now, I didn't tell you guys what the name of this little short module will be because it was for a specific reason. During lockdown and COVID, D&D Beyond brought out a little module that you could run for free. And I thought, oh, this sounds cool. This might be great for the gang. I kind of decided I'd run it way back when I was a wee child. Now I'm, a little bit bigger of a child. And basically, you can no longer find the free module on the D&D Beyond website. You can if you do some searching, but please, I'm telling you now, players, don't do that because you ruin it for yourselves. The name of the module, in short, is called Darkstar.
Cool.
Basically, I don't want to give away too much because you guys are literally going to get thrown into the midst of it, having little to no information about said adventure. Because I've kind of rearranged a bit of the start because I can't just run things simply. I don't know. I have an issue. But anyway.
You and every other DM in history. Just saying.
I could have just made it way simpler for myself, but no, I just had to just make it more difficult. Basically, the gist of it is some weird things have been going on. You guys have reasons. You guys will start out on a boat traveling from... in the realm of Zorhas, with the Kryn. A couple of you are there for different reasons, which I will give privately. I can't tell you guys right now because otherwise it will interfere with what's about to happen. But then you're going to be transported from the boat to the actual start of where this module takes place. How that's going to happen, you'll find out. It's not because I don't exactly have it plotted out. It's slightly true, I'm working on it. But, but in short, yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. Is it very vague? Have I not given a lot of information? I haven't, but it's for a good reason. So that's all the information you're going to get for now until we start it, which is going to be on the 22nd. I can't do next week because my partner's got some medical issues that I need to be there for. So, but it'll be on the 22nd. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Magic's already confused. That's fantastic. That's what I wanted. I wanted the players to be confused. I'm confused, and I'm running it. So, no, have faith. It'll work out. If not,
it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Don't stress.
Kill you all. That's something.
Well, that works.
Yeah.
The joys of mini adventures. Kill your players. It's great.
I don't know why you guys are all muted. It's kind of weird. It's so quiet.
Sorry. Just letting you talk.
What?
No, it's fine.
What are you talking about?
What, you want us to interrupt you? Well, I mean, we can do that.
Yeah, go for it.
We're being good little players, not interrupting the DM.
The interrupting starts during the campaign, not during the big...
Yeah.
All right, so I guess with that out of the way, a very vague and brief explanation of what's happening, let's just jump into some introductions to players if we want. We can get a brief, like, basically if you wanted to, just your name of your player, maybe the race, class if you wanted. There'll be more descriptions as we get to the 22nd. It's up to you guys how we want to do this session 0.
Hey, I'm happy to do a basic. I think we can start with the basic introductions if you want. Your choice, you're the DM.
Yeah.
Roll the dice. Just roll the dice.
Yeah, we're all on Foundry. All right, everyone roll a d20, the lowest person goes, and then we'll just work clockwise from there.
Vegs with a natural 20 right off the bat.
Okay.
So
we got Victor with a 6.
I guess I'm going first. Yes, so obviously everyone knows who I am. It's my freaking channel, so it's evil.
Who are you again?
I don't know.
What?
Some weirdo from New Zealand. But I will be playing a tiefling fighter by the name of Victor Rattlehead. For those that know the reference, you'll know the reference. If you don't, you don't. Someone got it.
I do.
But he is a red tiefling, as I say, fighter with chainmail, carries a sword and shield. I'm not going to give too much information away just yet, but he is an Echo Knight fighter subclass.
It's very, very cool. All right. Moving on, we got the lovely, the wonderful Knock, which is played by Miss Yanti. I probably should have said your name rather than your character.
Knock is a Kinku, and she's a Kinku wizard. She took some spells phonetically, I do believe, for learning phonetically, so she can mimic the spells she's learned, and she is seeking to mimic some more, and has lost her. She's a typical Kinku with robes. You know, I won't get into my backstory. We'll find out later. That's me.
All right. Next but not least, we have Grim. I said that right the first way.
Hey, it's me, Grim, and I'm playing Boka, the druid turtle, who is old and therefore does not give a shit about what anyone thinks about the things he will say or do. He is a circle of the spores, so he is high on mushrooms. Good times.
I love it.
Then we have Mr. Trash.
Typical rogue class. Well, not exactly. Rogue, wizard.
No.
There's some interesting
rogue.
traits.
Warlock.
Oh, warlock, wizard. Same thing. Come on.
No, it's not. Not even close.
Little bit. I'm a halfling. Name is Nessa Lightstep.
Oh,
and hates.
Which reminds me, I've got to
Evil's
fix your name.
And definitely hates Evil's character.
Yeah, everyone hates Evil's character.
Did you guys go into that hating each other, or like? Is that
I know why my character hates.
Yeah, it's part of our backstory. It's part of the backstories.
Yeah, I think I heard. Okay, yeah.
It's part of the backstories for the characters.
But yeah.
I gotta fix something.
So I am a soul knife, of course. Love the soul knives.
Keep that in your.
Keep it in your pants, mate.
Aw, come on. All right, next.
What if he doesn't wear pants?
So then we're all fucked.
I'm pretty sure I wear pants. Hang on.
Speaking of not wearing pants, I don't know.
Well, you never know. You know, he's a goblin, so. But yeah, I'm playing a goblin rogue paladin, so it's going to be an interesting mix.
Are you what was that character's name in Strahd? What was his name? Are you his brother?
Karnos' brother, yeah.
No.
Emily's tail?
Huh?
Emily's tail?
He's got a soul knife of his own.
Adok, that's his name.
Yeah, no, I'm not Adok. No relation.
He's Adok's mother, okay?
Yeah. Quite removed.
Okay.
No, but yeah, he's a paladin of vengeance.
Yeah, I'm actually From what I remember, he picked vengeance.
Yeah, and he's a side blade, soul knife rogue.
Oh, it's the same one. Okay.
Oh, two soul knife rogues.
Yeah, he's a soul knife rogue.
Don't cross the soul knife streams.
Don't cross the streams.
I'm super
only
curious
when you go to the toilet.
Oh,
to see
yuck.
how a paladin and a rogue works together.
Well, it's more about his backstory. That's the reason why. But yeah, so
I'm just curious, it's mechanically wise, to see how it operates. And I'll find out, see how quickly you'll destroy whatever I put out there.
Yeah, the paladins can put out a lot of damage, and rogues can put out a lot of damage. So it is going to be interesting for that. It's going to be an OP character, but hey, it's a small campaign. So
yeah. If that's how you're going to have fun, that's cool. All right, well, I guess that brings us on to that's a brief explanation about the characters. More will come, I assure you, at some later stage. I guess just to let, I mean, obviously all the players know, but anyone else who's watching, we're not rolling for stats. It's already been worked out pre ahead of time. It is a point buy system. The reason why I do point buy is because, I don't know, I just decided point buy. It is what it is. Yeah. Which, I don't know.
For these kind of stuff, for the mini adventures, point buy just makes it nice and quick and easy.
There is one thing that I will say, starting out, just for everyone to know, I will allow each and one of you guys between a common and an uncommon magic item, because you guys are starting out at level 7. So it just has to be approved, obviously, by me. But yeah, go through, think of a couple of different options, and just shoot me a message whenever you're ready. Be like, hey, it could be this, could be that, X, Y, Z, rada.
In that case, then, if it alters your AC, Cam, you'll need to let me know if it alters anyone's AC, so I can update the overlay.
Oh yeah, too easy.
Like, if it alters ACs or HPs or anything like that, just let me know.
Yeah, too easy. All right, so this comes to the part of the session 0 where I guess we should probably start talking about possible home rules that we want to bring in. Would anyone like to take the floor in terms of a dying rule that they want to bring up or communicate?
Nah. That's on you, Pally.
All right, cool. All right, well, I got a couple. I've got 12. So number 1.
Do you understand what the
I just have 1 or 12.
Do you understand what the definition of a couple is?
12.
You know, it's
2. 2 is a couple.
Do we need 12. To write them down? Or are you going to send them to us?
7, 8, 11, 12. That's how it works. Okay, well, number 1. Now, this is something, because we're chatting, Evil was helping me set up Foundry, get everything up and running, and he brought up one rule, which I thought was kind of interesting. Now, this is open to you guys, whether we can go yay or nay for it. I believe it was one that Evil was saying it came from actual Yanti in one of her campaigns, and it was to do with healing potions. So
and healing spells. It was rolling the d20 for potential crits on heals.
Oh, yeah.
How do we feel about that? Whereas if you roll the crits when you're doing a healing potion or a spell, it maximizes the amount of health that you receive. Is that a yay or a nah?
I like it. I think it works. I'm using it in P2. And I think it works.
How about we modify it slightly? If you get a critical, you just add an extra die.
What's the point in that?
Easy. What are you thinking?
I like max damage.
If you maximize the heal, it makes it a crit heal. I mean, it's the same as maximizing the damage on a crit strike, so it's virtually the same thing.
Yeah,
simpler the better.
That one. Yeah.
I'm just here.
No more math, man. We don't need any more math. Don't add dice. We don't need math.
What about Grim? What do we feel, Grim?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I like it.
Sweet. All right, cool. Fantastic. Done. That's number 2. Number 1, sorry. I really can't count. Number 2. All right, we have no flanking trains. Now, we all know what flanking train is, right?
No idea what a flanking train is, but
all right. Okay, so
I got a fair idea,
let's say
but
you've got
exactly.
Character 1 here, character 2 here. This character's attacking that one, and there's another one on the other side. They both get advantage, right? And their attacks is flanking. And then what happens if a person gets straight behind that person that's attacking? That because there's this one here, but they're both attacking this character, they then now have flanking bonuses advantage. And you see how that creates a bit of an issue because you can just line up. Does it make sense? Did I explain that well?
The thing, yeah, I mean, a flanking train should never happen anyway. If you're putting yourself in the right position, then it shouldn't matter. But
got hurt at a very young age.
Got a problem with trains.
The way they look at that, well, the thing is, the way I look at that, Cam, the idea of flanking is up to the DM anyway. So you decide in the moment contextually, okay, is there enough room for everyone to be in a position where they can get flanking? If there's not, then you choose who gets flanking and who doesn't. So that kind of works on that role anyway.
What are your classes flanking?
I wouldn't have allowed that anyways because they're distracted by that person. They wouldn't be turning around and being distracted by, you know what I mean?
Like normal rules,
idea.
Normal mechanics say that is possible and that is flanking. Where I'm going to say that's. No, I'm just going to be like that.
I think by possible. 5th edition rules, flanking is if they're by 2 sides, so one in front, one beside. The other way of going is it has to be one in front, one behind. and that's the only way you get the
And
flanking bonus.
in general, the way that I run the flanking rules is exactly that. You've got to be behind the target, and that target has to be engaged in melee combat with another character. If they're not engaged, then you don't get flanking because they're not distracted.
It comes down to being a rogue. That's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be coming up from behind.
Yeah. Rogues do it from behind.
Because I want to get that low blow to get the sneak attack anyway, because that's what I get automatically. And yes, I am talking dirty just for you.
My God, woman. Someone's been drinking.
Oh
no, that's just Shanti.
We've been playing Void Train all day, and she's been weird all day. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, contextually, that's up to you to make the decision in the moment, and we as players accept your decision in the moment because you're the DM. It's a decision you make, so that's the way I look at it anyway.
An example I brought up of just how you could see how that could have a potential to just have like everyone just lining up, and it's just like it's weird. So yeah, I mean I'm just like no, and exactly how Yanti brought up, like if you're distracted, you just don't receive the flanking bonus because there's too many people in the one area. I don't know. Does that?
So no flanking train. Yeah, we're going to go with flanking is only front and back, and that's it, not to the side.
Well, you can have two side to side because it's technically depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, but it's still going to be front and back because that person's going to turn around to attack someone.
Flanking is opposing sides, so like
I mean you can have four. As technically, you could have four characters flanking a single enemy, front, back, and to each side. Everyone gets the advantage because he has nowhere to go. And that person's going to be like, well, okay, what the fuck do I do? Where do I attack? How am I going to defend against this shit? So
it does have somewhere to go, and it's normally down
or dead
to the grave. Yeah,
well, exactly.
That's fine. Yeah, as long as they're opposing. Yeah, correct. Opposing sides. But then if you're opposing a villain and then a second villain enters, you don't get flanking bonuses anymore because there's somebody else attacking and distracting you, which is what Yanti brought up.
Yeah,
that's how I perceive it to be. Does that sound fair?
At the end of the day, like you're ruling, dude. As I said, when I can't see how it can't be fair unless you're making silly calls when it comes to where we're at. I mean, if there's enough room visually on a map to gain those rules, then you make a ruling in the moment. And make a decision. Go, okay, well, no, there's not enough room for you to get in there to get flanking. It's like, sweet, okay, I'll change up my tactic. I mean, easy enough.
Cool. All right. Great. Fantastic. I've got 2 for 2 so far. All right, let's go for... This actually brings me to the third one, which is the rule of cool. Now, I think we all know what that is, but for anybody else who's watching, rule of cool means if I or anyone makes a stupid decision in terms of rolling, let's say that they're trying to read a map and someone goes, can you give me a perception check? Not that they would, that doesn't make any sense. But just like, instead of a survival to read XYZ, whatever, that might not even be the right call. As long as it doesn't really affect the story or what's happening to a grand scale, then I'm like, rule of cool is just like, yeah, cool, let's just move on. It's not that big of a deal. If it does result in like a massive consequence and it wasn't the correct call, I kind of think, well, that's when we should probably be like, well, no, it was supposed to be this sort of thing. No,
no, it should be you go with whatever you said, because like
decision sticks. You don't backtrack.
Yeah, you're looking at a map. A perception check actually does kind of make sense because you're trying to perceive the right route instead of a survival check. Yeah, that makes sense. So go with it. But at the same time, it's better than to say, give me a survival check, give me a survival check, give me a survival, give me an investigation.
Yeah.
At the same time, it might be that someone's survival is super high, but their perception is super low, and their investigation is pretty decent. So it kind of, you sit there and you're going, yeah, that makes sense. You're not always running off the same thing, which is actually does. I think is a better role.
Yeah. Essentially back your own decisions as a DM. If you make a decision, stick with your decision. If it turns out that it may not have been the right decision, don't worry about it. It's in the moment you deal with what you deal with, and ultimately it doesn't matter.
The only thing I'd go with is just make it consistent.
Yeah. Cool.
And that's it. Just make it consistent. This is their consistent rule instead of, okay, this is the consistent rule, and then the next week it's changed because that's the new consistent rule, which confuses the fuck out of us in the long run.
Yeah, and it'll get frustrating as well for everyone's
If you start
start
changing
changing
stuff,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever decision you generally
100%.
run with to begin with, you stick with it for the remainder of it, unless it's really groundbreaking, and it really doesn't make sense, and you could fix it for a next session. But generally, it pays not to.
Rule of Cool also for me covers lore specific things. I will be I will try to be as lore accurate as possible. But again, if I fuck up something, it's like, please, for the love of God, don't hound me about it. I'm sorry.
No, we're gonna hound you.
I don't even. I mean, I know a little bit about Wildmount, but I don't know heaps about it. So whatever you tell me is the law. Is like, okay, cool, because I know fuck all about it. I haven't read anything up on this stuff. So
Fantastic.
even though I'm a Critical Role fan, and this is Critical Role lore, and I know bits and pieces about the area. I know more about Exandria than I do about Wildmount. So I'd roll with it, man. Again.
Sweet. And then under the same banner of Rule of Cool, the last one is I'm just for me, I'm going to try my hardest not to say no to you players. It's just a little thing that I want to try and do, and just do the yes and thing as much as possible, and just see where that goes. But if that sounds...
So, yes, you can have that +9 Vorpal dagger, but as soon as you use it, your own arm is going to get cut off.
Correct. Yeah,
You hear
absolutely.
that, Trash?
That's what I'm gonna. Yeah. That's what it may happen. But yeah. So the yes and, but it could have negative consequences to anything. But just to try and make it as you know,
Yes,
just
you
not
can,
shut down any ideas you guys bring.
You can have the Froget, but it's cursed.
What the fuck is a Froget?
Frozen
no,
yogurt,
Froget.
man. How can you not know what frozen yogurt is?
I don't eat that shit.
Oh my god.
Alrighty. Okay. Cool.
I probably should have got no teeth, but
This is one that might you guys might not agree with, but I like you guys know about massive damage.
yes, I love the massive damage rules.
Yeah. What do you all think about massive damage?
What do you mean by massive damage?
So if you take more than half of your HP, you roll a Constitution save, and if you fail the Constitution save, you are then you then have to basically roll on a table, which is you can find in one of the source books, and you're due to the system shock table. So you might have a condition where you're staggered, or anything.
Yeah, you could end
But
up being
make it a little
stunned.
bit
You
more
could
Realistic type deal.
yeah. It just
Yeah.
essentially means you might end up with not so much a mortal wound, or you could roll on the massive wounds table as well, but. You could be staggered, you'd be stunned for a turn, you could be shell shocked. There's a bunch of different conditions that it can put on the player.
And it vice versa works for enemies as well. Like it can do the absolute same thing for enemies too. But I mean, the only thing that the grief that it gives to is obviously players that haven't taken a lot in Constitution. But I mean, if you don't have a high con or high defense, like probably don't be at the front line taking massive amounts of damage. On the same about the mortal wound, I also there's a little thing you can do as well, which may yes or no, that if you get dropped to 0, or if you're going to take massive damage and it's going to reduce you past 0, similar thing, you roll on the Constitution save, and if you fail, you do have a lingering wound, such as like you could fracture a skull or break a rib. Lose a tooth, an eye, XYZ, all that kind of stuff.
Miss the third leg, like with Carnus's situation.
But that's an optional, the mortal thing. Like that's up to you guys.
The missing limb and that, is that undoable by what?
I would say it would be undoable by certain leveled spells applicable, so regeneration, all that kind of different stuff. If you go high enough, priest or cleric or anything like that, or if you can mechanically create or attach a stump. Be creative, Yeah.
I didn't go artificer in this one. So.
But I mean, it's up to you guys. If you don't like that one, it's just an idea that
I mean,
might be cool.
me personally, I don't have an issue with any of these types of rules because I love the grittier style of game. But again, for a mini adventure, it may not be as feasible because there's no chance of us leveling high enough to solve a missing limb specifically. But again, that comes down to you as a DM to obviously know we're in a mini adventure and deal with the massive damage accordingly and say, okay, well, okay, you fractured your ankle. It's going to take a little bit to heal, unless you get a magical heal. Obviously, you're going to be slowed. Your speed's going to be slowed by 5 feet. Or if you might lose an eye, you're going to lose your passive perception's going to drop. Your investigation's going to be anything to deal with sight's going to be a disadvantage, that sort of thing. So that I don't have an issue with.
I think for this in particular situation, I think that the wounds kind of have to meet the
level. Yeah.
Yep.
So like loss of limb.
I think loss of limb might be a little excessive for a level 7.
or it would be more of you've gotten a severe laceration along the arm, so you need to bandage it, and then that arm's you got a -1 to attack or 2 to attack on that arm for the next X days. That type of thing would probably
becomes contextual.
Yeah, it would probably be a better idea. So it's just modify your wound table to be for a mini adventure.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, sweet. Which, if we agree, I will do.
Yeah.
I said I personally think I like the idea as long as it's contextual with the level and with what we're playing.
Yeah, and at the same time, if you get a disease, you get blood poisoning, which wouldn't affect me too much because I spend 5 points and I cure all diseases. So yeah. 18.
COVID will not be in there.
I'm just watching the chat as well. Freaking the blade was infected. Now you have COVID for 7 turns.
You're welcome.
What?
And then Grim says, if you get hit hard enough, you develop a taste for Pac-Man boxes. I was like, what the fuck, man?
That type of thing wouldn't be bad either. Just do whatever. Give them a random disease.
Exactly. You've got these disease tables. There's all sorts of stuff that you can access to accommodate for these kind of things. So I think it's cool. I like it.
Make up your own table that goes off with D100 and see what fucking happens.
That's exactly what I kind of have. So.
Yeah,
well, there you go.
I'm happy with that. Like loss of limb.
I'll just remove that. Yeah.
Yeah, loss of limbs.
You're now pregnant. What the fuck,
Drax? More. Maybe you've crushed your hand. Not lost your hand, but you've crushed your hand, so you have a disadvantage to whatever.
Yep.
When offhand attacks or main hand attacks.
Or you just can't use your offhand attack. You lose that offhand attack. I mean, there's lots you could do with it.
Tape it to your hand.
Well, there's still lots you could do with it. I mean,
well, technically, I don't have a weapon in my hand anyway.
Soul knife.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
The dagger appears.
So I thought there was something about your character I didn't know. Maybe how to make...
2 soul knives. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Or look, the only weapon he's actually got is a short bow.
Gonna have a soul knife off.
Soul knife off. Oh wow, that sounds dirty. Giggity.
All right.
Next.
Okay, cool. Fantastic. Keep it on. Number 5. We're at 5.
We're good.
We're at to 12.
Hey,
we got inspiration. So there's a rule for inspiration, like DM's inspiration specifically. I don't like. I mean, this is probably not going to go for too long. It's a short module, but I don't like particularly giving out DM's inspiration to certain people.
Then don't give them out.
I like. Well,
if you don't like it, don't do it.
At the end of each session, I leave it up to the collective as a group to think, okay, who do we as a collective group want to give inspiration to?
Absolutely no one. Let's move on.
Or you can leave it up to the chat, because I have channel points to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Or the chat, they can call out a moment and be like, I feel like XYZ character deserves.
Well, we've got channel points for a reason. We've got inspiration and advantage. You tell me whether you want me to keep in things like the Spare the Dying, the Fey Doctor, which is a healing potion. I can turn those off. I think advantage and inspiration I definitely would keep in.
Yeah.
But I have Spare the Dying and a healing pot, and I think there's one other one that I can take out if you don't want to have those.
So advantage is a D10, right?
The advantage is just a reroll. The inspiration is a D10.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, your DM's inspiration is a
reroll.
It's a reroll on anything that you want.
Yeah. I think as well for this one, I will probably ask you if it's okay to probably don't have Spare the Dying or the health pots, channel points. This is a short adventure,
easy
and I kind of want
as to
it to
turn
be
off.
A little bit gritty for you guys.
Well, I said I can turn off all the channel points you want if you want to get rid of the inspiration and the advantages too. So
I think it's probably actually a better idea. Just turn off all the inspirations and we just run the game. Because like DM
run it native,
is a 5th edition thing that I've kind of never really understood.
I understand it, but I've given it away quite frequently in a lot of my stories, and even after sort of thinking about it, it's like, well,
I just forget about it.
A lot of people do forget they have it, for one.
I normally keep it because it changes your icon and it makes it look cooler.
Yeah, well, there's that as well. But again, I'd be happy if you just didn't do it. Just leave it out. Let's just drop it. I'll turn off all the channel points, so we get rid of the advantages from the chat and that as well. And if you want to run that grittier adventure, let's drop all that sort of stuff. I think that's a good idea.
I'm gonna try and make it grittier with the encounters. I don't know how well I'm gonna go, but we'll see.
I mean, we as players, I don't know how many of us actually have buff items. I mean, I know for obviously fighter has second wind to give himself a heal. Like druids have heals, paladins have heals. Most of us have ways of keeping ourselves alive in certain degrees. Wizards have shield and stuff to boost AP or mage armor and things to bring those stats up. So I think we'll be right without them.
Cool. All right, fantastic. Moving on then. Okay, number 7. This is hot topic probably, but I'm thinking about maybe nat 1s and nat 20s on saving throws. So I kind of like the idea that a nat 1 and a nat 20 on saving. Say Fireball, if you roll a nat 1 for the dex save to try and get away, it should do a bit more additional damage. And I'm not saying you should take a maximum full damage or double damage, but just a little bit more. So what I was thinking was, you take whatever the damage is of the Fireball and you add an additional half that damage if you get a nat 1. And it's like, say, for example, it's 10 damage in total. You roll a nat 1, you take 15. So it's half the 10. So you take 15 damage. So it just gives a little bit more. That's up to you.
I run a similar with P2. I'm running slightly more grittier version of that, where nat 1 you take maximum damage for the spell, and a nat 20 you take no damage. So like I said, I'm easy with any grittiness. I'm down for. That's how I like to play anyway. So I'm happy with any of that.
It's up to you guys. And vice versa on I was going to say the nat 20, you just negate it, because the chances are very low, and if it happens, it should mean something, especially on a saving throw. Now, when it comes to things like obviously like wisdom saving throws and things like that for conditions, I haven't entirely figured that one out yet. That's open for ideas. It's up to you guys. What do you think about that rule?
As long as you tell me what to put down, I'm good.
I can't math. Just tell me what damage I take and I'm happy.
That works. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, that works.
As long
I'm
as
not
you take
fucking
the hit,
DMing, so no, I don't care.
you do the math and take the damage off me. I'll just sit here and roll the dice. How's that sound?
The cool thing about that is in Foundry, that can be done.
Again, that one's...
I'm good with it.
And all of these that I come up with, if we start playing and it comes up and you guys just aren't enjoying a rule, we can just fucking get rid of it. Like, I'm super chill. I'm super easy as well.
That's how it should be at a table anyway.
Yeah. Also, okay, well, if that's all right, moving on. We got number 8, death saving throws. I like it. It's just for you guys to privately roll it to me. That includes not seeing it yourself and rolling it to me. Now, I will, in saying that, describe, hopefully effectively, whether or not said character has passed or failed, depending on if you go and have a look at said character that's bleeding out.
We can't roll it to you and not see it.
You can.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure that if I send a GM roll to you, it still shows on my Foundry.
On Foundry, you can do. There's a thing called private GM roll. There's an option. There's another one that's private roll and private GM roll, and it rolls blank to you.
I rolled a 12 to you with private GM roll.
So let's have a look. I don't even have
blind GM roll.
Is it the blind one?
I just rolled a blind one. I can't see it.
Yep.
Blind GM roll.
Yep.
Right, we discovered that. Awesome. Awesome. So blind GM roll. Cool. Done.
Yeah, but
I
it's
don't
up
have
to
a
you
problem
guys.
with
Like, I don't have an issue with you guys talking about how many hit points you guys have got. Like, it's like, just I don't care about that. But particularly death saving throws. I'm not saying I will have a DM's interference. I may or may not, depends what happens. But
Hey, no,
you know.
I'm happy with that. I like the idea of not knowing myself.
Yeah.
So,
But with like health numbers and things like that, you can be like, I'm on 10, I'm on XYZ. I mean, I do have things that will say when something is past 50 hit points, it'll come up with the screen and tell you anyway as well. But
yeah. I like
what
to
do you guys
up,
think
I like
about
to RP that sort of stuff. But yeah,
the
although,
private.
yeah. I'm easy.
So,
Nutty will tell you.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
But as long as you keep track of it, that's the only thing.
Well, he's the only one that can keep track of it if we blind him, because we got no idea.
Yeah, it just puts more evidence, more resulting on you keeping track of what's going on.
The only reason I bring it up is because I try and think, if you guys are in a combat scenario and you see a teammate go down, you know, I don't want. I don't know, it just feels a little bit weird that you would wait until the third roll to go up and bring them back. Like, I just kind of think you'd want to try and bring them back up as soon as possible. So it might eliminate that and give a little bit more.
In the long run, you might as just do the rolls instead of us doing it.
That's
Because then we don't even know if we're at our first, second, or third roll.
Yeah, that is very true.
That's sort of what I was getting at, is if we're rolling it and we can't see it, it's almost just as easy for you to roll it. I agree.
But then we can't push the button.
You can
A
push
lot
the
for
button.
the DM to deal with while he's making combat go to.
That's the other side of it. It can get a little confusing. But I mean, if you're willing to take on that responsibility, I'm okay with it.
Give it a crack, see how I go. I mean, I might scrub it like first session.
Well, I hope none of us is making death saves on the first session, Cam.
I mean,
You
not
never know.
so yeah, that's good.
The boat was in an accident, and
You all died. I mean, shit.
Sad time.
The boat is sinking.
All right,
You're all drowning. You're all fucked.
All right. Well, we're almost there. Number 8. So no, I said number 8. Number 9. Now, this is one thing that I kind of, it's a home rule, but I would like you guys to think about. It's to do with your health pool, your maximum health pool. I don't want to give negatives to if you're at 10% health or 50% health, all the kind of stuff that some people do. I don't think that's, I mean, you're already low enough as it is. I don't think it is necessarily fair. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, I do want, and I would like players to think about, if you're past 50, try to think about how your character would operate in terms of they lost 50% of their health, you know, and if they get to 10, I don't know if they would be
some sort of weakness then.
Well, just I'm not going to give you a thing, but just the impotence is on you to think about.
You're below you're covering your shoulder or limping or something like that.
Well, it's just trying to eliminate the fact of, like, if you're on, let's say you've got 5 health and you're almost dead, you know, if you're having full-on conversations, I'm like, well, I don't know if that's...
Yeah,
you know,
I get what
it's
you
up to
mean.
guys.
I mean, you're basically putting the onus on us for RP at lower health levels.
Yeah.
I personally, as a DM, like to impose disadvantages at lower levels of HPs as well, but that's up to you. Movement speed.
Yeah.
Some certain saves and checks depending on what it is, obviously investigations, and so I mean, if you're at low health, you're at low health. I mean, it's like being at 1 hit point and still being able to do everything that you can do. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense.
If I'm going to be completely honest, if a character's on low hit points, I will more than likely up a DC on certain different things, because I would just think you won't have enough. I wouldn't tell you guys, but I'm telling you now. I ruined the surprise. But it's up to you guys what you guys think about that whole idea.
I don't have an issue with it.
You know, it just eliminates the... Just think about, if you're really low on health, you probably won't be having massively long conversations and full running around the place as if you're fine. Just try and be a bit more in the world of what's going on. But it's up to you guys how you want to run it. If you don't like that type of stuff, that RP, that's on you guys. I don't want to tell you guys how to RP.
I'm going to be running around until the moment that he drops dead. because that's the way Viz is.
And again, if that's your character, cool. If that's how they go, all right, sweet, fantastic. But that's what I said. Like, I'd like to for you guys to think about. It's not really a rule. It's more of a general.
That's just
like
a
Monty Python when the guy gets his both arms and legs
just
chopped
but a
off.
scratch.
It's just a scratch. Come at me. I'll gnaw you to death.
Come back here, I'll bite your kneecaps off.
Exactly.
But you've got no arms.
So
It's just a flesh wound. All right, cool. Well, yeah, that's just more of me just giving a little bit of a. I would like.
The way I look
as
at that too
players.
is you can encourage it during game time as well. When it comes down to
Yeah,
that, you
yeah.
say, "Look, you're on low hit points. You're going to be struggling to breathe," and you just give a basic prompt to it, and that can sometimes trigger a player to sort of swing into a little bit of RP. So that's easy enough to do.
But that's So again, that's not a rule. It's just a little bit of a. I would like this from you guys, but it's up to you. Again, at the end of the day, if you don't like it, not comfortable with it, don't worry about it. Moving on. I've already explained the magic items things. Okay, so we'll skip that one. So now we'll go to 11 with recaps. Now I know Evil, you do a lovely thing when you give the recap of the entire previous session, but I like the idea.
I'm trying not to do that these days, but it still happens, kind of.
No, like it's fine. I like the idea of giving like a short, brief recap and putting it back to the players to go, hey, what do you guys remember? So I like the idea of, again, doing the whole D20 thing.
So what you're saying is you don't want to do the work and you want to give it over to us.
No, I'm more than happy. Like I will, if you're not entirely giving a full accurate recap, I'll be like,
You sit there and go, I vividly remember that we got a lot of gold.
Yeah, I swear
some
that
really
monster
cool
dropped
items.
dropped a bag of holding and an iron flask. I swear,
a dragon came by and gave us an item that said, you know, if you ever need a hand, just whistle and he'll come.
He wants you guys to pay attention.
Pretty much, that's exactly what it is. I know exactly
mean,
what he's doing, and it makes sense.
Yeah. So that's it. Instead of me just talking, it's just like, well, what do you guys remember? And then of course I'll be there to go.
And Trash will go, I remember nothing.
Yep, absolutely.
And I'll be like,
Who are you
okay,
and
cool.
what are you doing in my house?
You start the session with amnesia. But yeah, I don't know. That's a little thing. That's up to you guys if you like it. If not, I can talk more.
See what happens, dude. I mean,
Yeah, sweet.
I honestly don't have an issue with it because I mean, a lot of us take notes during sessions anyway.
Yeah.
So
There won't be a lot because it's a mini adventure.
And you just don't shut up anyway, so what's the matter?
trying to tell me something, Trash. You don't speak up enough.
That's why we're starting the actual module with you. Your character, Trash.
Aren't I gagged or
I
something?
know. You are.
You still got to start with you.
That's fitting.
Just
Giggity.
feed to his fetishes. That's perfect.
Internal monologue, Trash. Internal monologue. That's what you're doing.
You've got
That's
one of those.
exactly
what
what
is
it is.
The leather strap and the ball.
Yeah, he's got a gag.
Yeah,
He's got a
playing
gag.
with his soul knife in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time I was gagged, there was a lot more people around. And
Oh wow.
And they were all calling me Jesse for some reason.
Oh shit. Next.
Last but not least is number 12, and it's to do with the weather. I like the idea that
It's beautiful sunny days every day.
Stop interrupting the DM.
Each new day, I just nominate a different player and they roll a d20. I've got a weather table and then I roll adversely on that, and that determines the weather for the day that may roll in or may roll out, just to give you some sort of different conditions.
That's cool. I like that idea.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And that's all my rules. That's
Randomness.
it. That's the whole
Randomness is great.
12. Done.
Now, do we
Anyone
get to
wanna-
scrub them all or what?
That's not all your
Add
rules.
anything?
You have a 13, and that is telling us what your crit strike rules are for weapons
I
and
forgot
shit.
about that. I forgot about that.
I know what it is, but you need to let everyone know.
Oh, critical. Just you know, I think this is just normal, fair criticals. You roll your max base damage, then you just you add an additional crit die that you roll. Like that's
So basically what we
I
were
like to
doing
run.
with Curse of Strahd,
Yeah.
same deal. Max your base
That's up to
weapon
you
and
guys.
add a crit die to it and roll it. I'm happy
If
with
you
that.
don't like that.
It's what we've done through the entirety of Curse of Strahd. I mean, I've changed it for P2 for my crew, but still, I think it's relatively simple to follow.
That's pretty much it. If everyone's in accordance to agreements.
Define max damage.
If you
Max
roll
base damage.
for your soul knife's base damage dice is a d6 normally for your main hand attack, so you'd do 6 damage plus roll another d6 plus your modifier.
What you did in Curse of Strahd.
It's exactly what we did in Curse and Strahd. Your base weapon damage is maxed, and then you roll another dice of that damage, and then you add your modifiers.
Right.
So as a soul knife, yeah. So well, it's not really because it's. I mean, essentially, it's yours would be whatever. I think depending on your stats, your DC would be 6 is your base damage plus your modifier, and then you roll another d6 and add that to it. Which it should do it in Foundry anyway, because that's the way the better rolls are set up. So it should do it natively when you attack. So when you score a critical hit, it will actually it'll calculate that. It should calculate that crit damage straight away because it's rolling damage every time you roll an attack. So you don't actually have to roll the dice. Technically, it'll do it for you.
So you would have been. Oh Jesus!
He's just trying to get a.
He's trying to get a nat 20. We could be here a while.
Oh God!
Yeah. Here it is.
Oh, I got a 20.
But so if you look at there, we got d6 plus 6. You rolled a 1.
That's okay. That's sorry. I did forget to add that too. That's the one grief I have with crits. Like if I think you roll the additional die, and it's just a 1. I'm like that's lousy. Just re-roll it.
Which is why I've done what I've done with crits, because it negates that whole problem.
Yeah.
But what you can is apply double damage. If you look at the hovering over what's there, if you really want to, DM, you can apply that damage twice to make it a crit anyway. I think when you go to apply the damage to a token, it'll ask you whether you want to add the crit damage, and it normally calculates it normally. So it's up to you. But you're rolling a. See, it's not rolling correctly on that anyway. It's rolled a 2 and a 1. It didn't maximize the max damage. So you might have to look at your MIDI QOL because it'll be a conflict between them.
And it didn't add the.
It's added the modifier. Because your total's 6.
Yeah.
Because you rolled 3 and your modifier's 3, so that's where the 6s come from. But I know how to fix it, so we'll go over that before we start next section.
Rolled 3 and then added.
I always just did what I roll, and then add max damage.
That's probably the easiest way to do it. It's just literally go backwards. Yeah. So take the right hand die. The right hand die is always your critical die. In that respect there, so your damage there would have been 10 if it was a crit roll.
And max, whatever the max would be, and add it.
No, that's with the max damage.
I'll give you the flow chart after. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Sweet. Okay. That's.
But we can we could fix that in Foundry anyway.
Shit.
So Cam, at some stage between now and when we start, I'll get you back into Foundry, and we'll go through MIDI QRL, and we should be able to fix that. Because I know what the conflict is. It's a conflict between MIDI QRL and better rolls.
Cool.
I had the same issue.
All right. Well, that's. I mean, that's all my little That's all my little rules. Does anyone have anything they want to add or anything else? I mean, that's.
No, I think. I mean, as long as you remember the rules and you can remind us, that's all good. You've got them written down. So, because I'm not going to remember half of them. So.
Yeah, I have them written down. Yeah.
But as a general rule, I'm happy with that.
What were the 12 rules again?
I'll send it to you guys in a PDF. Is there any questions you guys have about player-specific stuff, and it's just about, any expectations? That's a question I'll ask you guys. What are the expectations moving forward that you guys have for the fellow DM and your fellow players? Like, is there anything?
I expect you to be the best DM that we've ever seen. Okay, that's it. That's my expectation.
Cool.
Sorry.
Cool. Thanks.
No, I honestly, as far as I don't have any expectations going into this at all from anyone. As long as we're all having fun, I don't really give a shit. So.
I just enjoy playing. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if he survives, I just expect that there'll be another mini campaign where he'll show up again and then again and again and again until I finally hit level 20, and then
I
I
agree
can
with
kill
him.
him
I do.
and move on.
Yeah, this is fair.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree
what
with that.
that's what D&D's about. Like I would actually like to, just have a character that's a mini campaign character that just jumps in and out of campaigns.
I mean, I'm sure between all of us, we've got enough channels that are running D&D shit now that we're going to have multiple mini campaigns that this is going to come up. So hopefully we can get that through.
I mean, my idea when I am not lazy is to to have prolonging mini things where I can tie in characters and stories.
It's not lazy, it's life getting in the way.
It's finding time to do stuff too. I mean, some of us have more time than others, so it's not just about being a little bit lazy. I mean, you have had like 4 months to organise this, just saying.
Well, he organised a shitload of it before Curse of Strahd.
I know, right? Well, that's the thing. He organised the story, but didn't do anything in Foundry. He's done everything in Foundry today with me.
It's probably the best way to go because it's all fresh. He's not using 4-month-old technology, and then
exactly. I mean, it's been good to go through it.
Don't work anymore.
Yeah.
And
we went through and sorted out add-ons and things. So it was actually not a bad idea. Yes, Baz is not in this one, Nutty, which we said like an hour ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's.
I think we actually said that off stream though. So
yeah.
That's you, Nutty, making noise in the kitchen.
In terms of, I guess the next port of call would be topics of RP and things that just negate and we just generally should probably not touch upon. I just want to make sure that we're all in the same mindset for that. If there's anything that you guys particularly aren't comfortable with talking about.
As long as Grim's okay with me touching his butt, I'm happy. You good with that, Grim?
Dang it. I mean, as long as everyone else can too. Like,
I'm willing to share it around, man. I mean...
Are we good with shrooms? Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
As long as you're sharing your shrooms, man, we're good.
Okay, so I'm getting the sense just typical conversations of that are naturally.
I think we as a group understand what we shouldn't be talking about especially on stream. We've got to worry about TOS and shit as well. But generally, most of us are comfortable enough with each other in RP that some subjects aren't going to be a problem. But we know. I think we should know where to draw that line by now. If we don't do something wrong,
we're all adults. If you hit a subject that you don't like, say so that everyone else knows that is a no-go.
Yeah, it just, I mean...
Which hasn't happened.
It's something you talk about off-stream too, just to reiterate that. If something comes up during stream, save it till the end, once we go offline, and then just say, hey, look, that made me a little uncomfortable. Can we sort of avoid that issue moving forward? And that should be the end of it. I mean, it's that easy. And I agree. I mean, we're all adults. Well, most of us are like giant children, really, but...
Yeah, I question.
Yeah. Adults is a relative term. But on that level of things, it's simple as just as simple as just like you say, Steve, just fucking saying something.
Yeah. Okay, because that's another thing too. Yeah, please don't be quiet. Feel free to shoot me a message or anything, and I will utter my best to try and rectify whatever you're going through. Be it, it could be big or small as well. Like honestly, like I'm the most neutral person, and I'll always try and do what's best.
I mean, I'm terrified of spiders, but because someone's getting scribbly. I'm terrified of spiders, but that doesn't mean you don't have to put spiders in the campaign, because hey, it's one of that sort of thing. And obviously, there's certain subjects we try and shy away from.
Yeah, too easy. All right, cool. I was going
to
say
drawing
something else. I know, Yanti, you had some questions specifically about your character. I don't know if that's been answered or you want to talk about it now in front of people. I'm not quite sure.
Kenkus can only mimic, but I think we talked about, like, I know some words already.
Yeah, so the amount that you can mimic and the memory span that a Kenku has is determined obviously by the player and by the DM. Like you could remember things from 6 months to a year to longer. It's really up to you.
Right.
that time span. So you could just be a fresh one who literally doesn't know much and can only mimic.
Yeah,
Then it makes your spells
doesn't
a bit
it? So
harder.
isn't that determined by their age? Like the longer they've been around, the more that they can remember, or is that just? I mean, is that just a relative thing that you'd obviously player and DM discuss? I don't know. I mean, I've not really used.
think it's
I
like
don't know
a
much
player
about
thing.
them personally.
Can Kanku have Alzheimer's?
Oh, or do they always have Alzheimer's?
There's always that.
What?
Or dementia?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I look from if you're looking at it from a DM's perspective, I would say, well, that's something you and the player discuss and go, okay,
Yeah.
I'm happy for you to have X amount of time span or memory span or whatever, and roll with it, especially if it fits the story. And for a mini campaign or a mini adventure, again, if it fits and makes it cool, fuck it, why not?
Yeah, so it's I do know that Kenku, like, they can string together sentences and stuff like that. There's nothing that says that they can't. It's just obviously they can't come up with new sounds. They just mimic. So you might have string together a sentence, but your voice or accent could change in between that entire sentence. 'cause
Yeah,
you're mimicking different
So,
stuff.
in Grimm's thing, when I was at Kinku, he was really good at. We had a talk and stuff, and it was good because I would write down all the sentences that everyone had said, and then I could word them
And
in
I might add,
fragments.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
that.
Also,
Yeah, I've seen that in
Grimmy also
other
used
ones
the
as
most
well.
gross
Nice.
language that he could, so that she could repeat some really
Why
terrible
not?
stuff.
Gotta give the Kenku
Yeah.
the flavor.
He gave me lots of cursey words to say.
What's wrong with that? I mean, you like to curse. I know you don't really curse that much, do you?
No, I fucking don't.
Fucking
Yeah,
evil
so-
cast and aspersions.
Yeah, so I would say that's completely up to you. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, or it doesn't. I can link you a bunch of information. Now, I do have I sent you guys a PDF about basically about the races in Wildmount itself. Brief general history.
That
you
was
can
like
choose to
months ago, wasn't
know
it?
or not know. I still have it, so if you
I
guys
think I've
want
got
it,
it,
I
yeah.
can
I
can
think I've still
shoot it
got
to you guys as well. But it's completely up to you what you decide to know or to not know, basically.
I've got to remember where I put it, but I think I have it.
I can shoot it to you guys. Is there any, I don't know, I guess, is there anything else that you guys want to bring up or talk about, or questions about
Nope, I've got it.
anything in general? I mean, I know you probably have questions about the story. And I wish I could tell you, but I just can't right now.
No, I'm pretty good.
And I will tell you why you guys are on the boat, how you ended up there, where you've come from, so you have that information on our next session, just so you're not completely thrown in the darkness.
That makes sense.
I mean, you've already given me the information I need for my character and why I'm there and what
I
I'm
do
doing.
know.
So.
I have it here on my dual screens, Nutty. I do know.
But yeah, no, I'm
Alright, cool.
down.
Well, I guess that's-
I'm down.
I guess that's that. Now it's just. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, I know why I'm there. I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you've been arrested, so everyone. will
You're,
know
you're
that
there,
from the
but
start.
you're there through no fault of your own. That's why you're there.
You're there because
I
you're
mean-
told to be there. Now shut up and deal with it.
Exactly.
he was there because he was put there. He didn't have a choice.
I actually probably I do have a question for Grim. Are you happy with the original choice that you made as your reasons as to why you're on the boat?
I'm just looking at it now. I think it sounds about right.
Do I remember why I
Like
was on
me.
the boat?
I think past me and present me probably agree on things. So it's probably all right.
I mean, we can talk about it later if you don't. And again, if you guys want to change anything, or if you don't remember what you said for your reasons why you're on the boat, I can. I'll give you specific reasons and reasons why. But if you want to change anything like that,
Yeah, come on,
more
man.
than
That
open
was
to it.
4 months ago that we had that conversation.
I still have it. I've got it all.
I can't remember what I did 4 days ago.
Are you a Kenku?
Or 4 hours ago. But yeah, nah. So yeah. Probably
cool.
shooting is that little bit of a thing I would probably
Yeah, I'll do
reboot
that.
the old mind.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that easy. Okay, that's about it for me. I've spoken a lot, and I feel like I need to shut up. So, what is? What is that on the screen? What the hell?
That's
It's
some. That's
it's
Vig's.
hi ho all in dragon text.
Oh wow.
How'd you get it
know
on
you
the
could do
screen though? That's what I want to
Yeah,
know.
I don't know.
Ah, not telling you.
Well, I would like to know that first. You know?
It's actually, if you go to the draw tool
Yeah.
and then text,
Oh yes.
you draw it, and then you if you put the text in, whatever the text is, then you select what it is. So I can make it in celestial, draconic, dark elder.
Oh yeah, I see.
How do-
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say normally hello and I can't.
So
You have to
yeah.
choose common, which is not in the list.
Oh no, it'd be.
Oh, you just do it under
common,
courier
it'd
or courier new or
be- Yeah,
Arial.
you just do any
choose a
normal
font.
text.
Yeah.
Wait,
So-
how do I do that?
What? Choose a text.
Yeah.
Arial or normal text.
Where did that come up? Anyway, I'll figure that out by myself. But yeah,
See?
that's it, guys. I don't know if you
Please.
guys want to talk about anything else, but that's, I guess, Session 0 done.
So how would delete it? Yep, we can delete it that way. Yes.
General...
Good, Cam. You did good.
So yeah. So if anyone does not have any further questions for the DM or for other players, we can pretty much call it there.
It's very short, yeah.
Your cat is rude. Why is your cat?
He was.
There was butt in the
Okay,
camera.
Yeah.
No. That's what cats do. But yeah, so there we go, guys. That is the session 0 for our Wildmount adventure, which was called Darkstar. So we'll call it the Darkstar. So Cam, if over the next few days, if you can send me a graphic, you probably don't need to. I can probably research something and come up with something anyway. Or unless you've got one, unless you've got a graphic that would work.
Yeah, I would. It's very easy to find information about this, so.
I'm not going to look up any
will-
information. I'm just going to look for images. So don't panic about that.
Well, if you do, you're just gonna ruin it for yourself. So.
Exactly. So I'll get send me a graphic picture of your pussycat. No, I didn't say that.
Send a graphic picture of your dark star.
No, thank you.
Apparently that's what we're calling it now.
Either send something through, or I'll come up with something, and I'll make up a title screen with the character portraits on the thing, like I've done with everything else. And I'll post. Obviously, I'll post up on Twitter. So guys, follow me on Twitter. I'll post up. The session 1 is not next Wednesday, but the following, which is the 22nd. 7:30 start time. We'll run from 7:30 to 10:30, which will be a 3-hour session. Because most of you are Aussie Australians, we can run later if it suits you, because it doesn't worry me. I don't mind running later. So Cam, that's up to you. If you feel that we can run for a 4-hour session, if you want to go longer, that's up to you.
With that, I'll probably just check in with everyone's energy levels, because it's a bit harder when it's not in person in terms of concentration and stuff like
100%. So I said we run from 7:30 to 10:30. If you want to start later because of work commitments, let me know if a later start works better for you, because we can have a later start, later finish, because as I said, I'm the only Kiwi here, so the later finish doesn't worry me. So you let me know what you want to do as far as start time and finish time is concerned. Obviously confirm with the players that that's okay, and we'll put that in any advertisements and stuff, and we can do that moving forward.
Easy.
So you let me know.
I will do.
Short of that, that's pretty much it. Obviously come back tomorrow, because I'm doing more map stuff, because I do maps every day, or just about every day. We're carrying on with Chris Estrade stuff. We just finished the Bone Grinder Mill last night, and I'll be carrying on. I think next one we decided was the Burgermeister's Mansion from Balaki. That'll be the next build. Then I'm doing nothing Friday, as far as I know. Grim, I think you streaming tomorrow, Grim? Day, night?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's been a real hassle. Been hassled by the man.
Been hassled by them. Oh well. Well, we'll shout out Mr. Grim anyway, because Grim might be or might not be streaming tomorrow. So we'll get the shout out in there. I beat you to it, Nutty. so that's grim stuff there. We'll shout out Yanti as well. I know Yanti is not streaming much at the moment. She's on a bit of a break, but she will come back eventually, hopefully one day. So make sure you're around for that. So let's get that up there as well. So like I said, I don't really stream on a Friday unless it's a bonus stream, but just keep an eye on the guild or the Twitter, because that's where I'll announce that. Saturday I won't be streaming because I'm got home game Mr. Baz's house then, but then come back on Sunday where you'll see some of us, if not or Grim, Yanti, myself, potentially Sadiq, and some others, and Trash, doing some VTM stuff, which is episode 2 of season 3. No, you're not muted. And
I'm a widow.
If you want to catch up with episode 1, that is on my YouTube channel, so go check that out. It was a very interesting first session back, so it ended really interesting as well, so we'll see how that goes next session. Short of that, that's it, unless anyone else has anything to say. Oh god, who did it? I knew I should have turned that shit off. Fucking Trash Man.
Trash Man's my hero.
Motherfucker. I have chicken attack in my ears right now, so give me a second. We got no graphics, however, because I turned all that off. I thought I turned it off, but I forgot. Right, now that's finished. We will see you guys tomorrow night. I was going to continue doing a map tonight, but I can't be bothered, so we'll do that tomorrow. So yeah, unless anyone else has anything to say, any announcements, what they're up to, then we'll call it there. What about Mr. Chicken? When's Mr. Chicken going to come back and do some streaming? We haven't seen a chicken stream. We haven't seen a chicken stream for ages.
I know. I was planning to do it over the uni break, but I went from working part-time, studying full-time, to now working back again full-time. So, and now doing this. So just what I don't know. I don't know why I do this shit to myself. Hopefully soon. I haven't played a game in yonks.
I'll shout you out anyway. Hopefully I spelt that right, because my spelling is terrible. Anyway, I did spell that wrong. Goddamn. I said roasted instead of roasting.
Yeah, I think someone took my name. My name originally was
roasted chicken, yeah.
Yeah, stupidly changed. I can't get it back.
Dummy. So we'll do the right name. Here we go. There's the right one, guys. I mean, you can follow the other dude if you want to, but it won't be as good. Anyhow, that's it from us. We'll see you when we see you. It's probably tomorrow night. So we got enough to raid? Yes, we do. We should raid. We're streaming. Have we got any D&D streamers on tonight? We do.
Kiki, she's on.
Crimix on?
Man,
He's doing V Rising now.
this is either going to go really well or really bad. We're not going to know until the 22nd. Stay tuned.
Who was on Stip?
Pixie.
Oh, Pixie.
Yeah, Pixie.
Why am I not following
Just
her?
started. I think she's just started.
Why am I not? I thought I was following her. It's PIXXCI, isn't it?
PICXI.
PICXI. I thought I was following her. Anyway, we're going to go raid Pixie then. She's doing some map stuff.
Yeah, she normally is.
So we're going to raid Pixie, ladies and germs. So make sure you drop the follow. I'll be doing the dropping the follow too, because I thought I was, but clearly I have been mistaken. If you have the raid emote, the animated raid emote, spam that over there to let them know where you're from. If you don't have the animated one, use any of the emotes from the followers section. We got the Evldoa logo and that stuff there. There are minions in there as well. And yeah, So we will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, have fun. Bye.